57.5 the toppy. He's carried it to win at his last start. He's beaten Race Ace, his past two. They're off. Quick and Handsome began brilliantly from the inside. Will have no trouble holding the lead if the jockey so desires, and will do so, settling down from Face It and away nicely Race Ace, followed by Bleep over on the inside, and then racing very wide Jerry's Girl, dropping back, passed by our Roscoe. Between runners, a wide out Man of Yarry making quick ground, followed by Final Catch and then Grand Style, who's back on the inside of runners. Jerry's Girl is still out very wide. And the last four racing in a line of four are chalking, and wide out on the track there is Tableland. He couldn't get over from the widest gate, the Warren Galloper. Back towards the tail of the field with Floating On as they go down the side. 700 metres left to go. And the pilot here is Quick and Handsome, being tested somewhat in the lead by Face It. Two away third, Bleep on the inside of Race Ace. Man of Yarry deep as his Final Catch, followed by Grand Style. Then came our Roscoe, starting a run on the outside, trying hard to make ground around the field. Floating On, going with it, Newstead. Final Catch off the course, the rest headed by Floating On as they come up to the home turn, and it's Heart's Ease that's very wide but not in it. Quick and Handsome still the leader, shook off Face It. Bleep on the outside coming after Quick and Handsome. Bleep going after Quick and Handsome. Still Quick and Handsome in front. Bleep on the outside though has raced to the lead. It's Bleep going away from Quick and Handsome, and Bleep and Glenn Boss, who's won this race before, goes on to win the big final. Second placing went to Quick and Handsome, and third's close, maybe over on the inside. Chalking has got third in a photo from Race Ace. Close up behind them, Tableland. Not a bad run, the Warren Galloper. He was never on the track, but he's beaten a few to the line. Grand Style, Face It knocked up. Then came our Roscoe, followed further back by Newstead, with well back the others. Final Catch, Heart's Ease, never a chance, got caught very, very wide, and Jerry's Girl and Man of Yarry towards the tail. I reckon Glenn Boss won the first of these races on about a 40 to 1 chance 3 years ago, or 2 years ago. And he's got up here on Bleep. Number 5, Bleep, is first to pay 8 even and 260. The big weight has brought Quick and Handsome back to the field. Number 1, he had every hope, 120. He was tested somewhat by Face It in the run, but Bleep has raced away from him. He's beaten him by about 2 lengths. Quick and Handsome could offer no more over the 1400. The journey got him as well. And Bleep has won here for Graham Hill at Musselbrook. And third placing is close. Final Catch, rather chalking over on the inside of our Roscoe with a 2 in it. And 7 our Roscoe has run third. It's 5-1 and 7, 5-1, 7, 5-1, 7 are the numbers. The time 123.3. And the last 600 metres covered in 35.63. Bleep has been ridden by Troy Brandenburg and Robert Thompson at his past 5 starts, which has resulted in 2 wins and 2 seconds. The only blemish was a 12th at Rose Hill to Highland Glory. So his form's terrific, and he's gone on with it today to win his biggest ever race. His prize money earnings to date were $8,570. And as I said before, some of these horses, or probably more the beaten division, don't get the opportunity to race for this type of prize money too often. Against similar opposition, they can go to the city, but often they're huge odds, some of these horses from country tracks, and here it is, Bleep has won. But the way he went today, he can certainly go on with it. That was a great win. Glen Boss for Graham Hill by Proud Knight out of Maid exclusively. G.R. and Mrs. G.J. Hill, L. Payne and B. Kirby are the owners. Quick and Handsome, Peter Wiggins, Peter Staunton, and third our Roscoe, Greg Ryan for Alec Callis at Dubbo. I caught him a bit late, I'm sorry there. They've called him 5th or 6th, but he was in the photo with chalking, and he has got third. Quinella 8.20, Exacta 24.90, the trifecta $295.50. Race Ace had every possible hope. Heart's Ease beaten by the barrier. Also beaten by the barrier were horses like Tableland and Floating On and Chalking. Tableland, I thought, was a pretty good run. From 14 of 14, she was poking up on the fence at the end, beaten only about 5 lengths. Quite a nice effort. Race 7 is the flying over the 1,000. 3-Star Joe comes out, leaves a field of 8. And we see the appearance of Paint at Hawkesbury under the 60 kilos. I think he'll carry it easily, Nick. I think he'll bolt him. He's going around the short price favourite at $2.10, Paint. Heavyweight rider Dan Brereton. Here to ride not only Paint, but in the next event, Zuccarino the Cup. 440 Rebel Rock, the horse without a tongue. Clearly can be seen that he can guide them without a tongue. He's had 15 for 11, Rebel Rock. Jaboo 660. 750 all the chat. Lady Bureaucrat ran favourite in her race on Melbourne Cup Day at Flemington. She's $12. Such is the depth of this race. She's probably far too big at that quote. She's a handy mare, Lady Bureaucrat, down in the weights against some of these better performed horses, I suppose. Now the last couple move in. Winger Charger comes up. Winger Charger goes in. And they're set for a start. Stand by to see them go. $2 for number 1, Paint. The late firmer. This smoke haze has lifted somewhat. A lot clearer view of the 1,000 metres. The Richmond Ex-Servicemen's Club Sweepstakes flying. There is a problem. I can't see what it is. They're off. And Paint dwelled at the start. He missed it quite noticeably, and Jaboo was first away. Showing good speed on the inside is Lady Bureaucrat. Showing good speed also All the Rave. Lady Bureaucrat got cut out. Paint showed exemplary speed after the start to drive through, but at what cost? He jumped very slowly. It's Paint on top, leading from Rebel Rock and Jaboo, followed by Go to the Post, All the Rave. Then Winger Charger, followed by Red Smoky, and Lady Bureaucrat's had no luck the first 300 last. On the turn, Paint, he's worked devilishly hard to lead. He leads the New South Wales Country Galloper, Rebel Rock, a half length. Jaboo on the outside was third, being followed by All the Rave, looking for a run. Then Go to the Post, 200 out. Paint on the inside, under a lot of pressure. Rebel Rock on the outside is laying down the law. Lady Bureaucrat coming up on the inside, and then All the Rave. Rebel Rock in front. Paint tries to fight back. He's lifting the top weight. Paint has come back to join Rebel Rock, and what a win under 60 kilos. Paint by a neck to Rebel Rock. Third, Lady Bureaucrat. Then Go to the Post, followed home by Red Smoky. Further back, Jaboo from All the Rave, and Winger Charger was last. Number 1, Paint is first, $2, $1.90 and $1.85. He looked gone for the world at the 150, but he's just kept digging deep. Rebel Rock, number 5, who is not used to being beaten, having raced 15 times for 11 wins and no minor placings prior to today, has hit the front. But this former runner-up in the Golden Slipper and a winner of the Blue Diamond, and of course the big race at Canberra, the Black Opal, has come back to win. Number 1, Paint, 2 even and $1.10, an inspiring victory, has beaten Rebel Rock. And third, Lady Bureaucrat, who was most unlucky. Look, she probably lost 2 lengths in that check at the 700, and looking at that, she probably should have won the race. I don't know whether we'll get an opportunity to have another look at the 700 metres. And it's All the Chat, of course, number 4, finishing behind them in 5th place, not All the Rave, All the Chat. Well, here's Paint inside of Rebel Rock. They did shift a bit of ground over the final stages, or Paint did. They have come together as the head-on shows. And Paint by Rami out of Colour Chart by Contract Racing Syndicate, raced by them. Also Adrian Hancock and the Fern Court Syndicate, Jim Mason the trainer, and Dan Brereton has got this gelding home. Under 60 kilos in 56.8, which is not far outside the race record. The last 600, 34.04. Rebel Rock, Darren Jones for Rod Stevens. Now have a look at, I think we've picked this up a bit late. We can just take that back and have a look at how Lady Bureaucrat was very nastily checked prior to that. 34.04 the last 600. He's only raced 13 times. Now look at that, getting decked at the tail of the field, Lady Bureaucrat, by All the Chat. Now she easily lost 2 lengths in that. She's now giving them 5 as they start to muster. She's got to pick herself up and get going again. You can see that after the check, she's ended up out very wide. She drew barrier number 1. She's now 3 to 4 horses off the rails. Such was the impact of that check. And as a result, her run to run third has been outstanding in defeat. There's no shadow of a doubt she should have gone close to winning. Number 8, Lady Bureaucrat for Lenny Beasley. 2 even and 110, 160 and 270. The Quinella 440, exactas 6. The exactas 690, the trifecta 4210, and the extra double 1880 on race 7.
A great exciting $12, 16 Arletty, Praise Indeed at $67. Then we have number 7 Entertainer and 8 Ripper, both scratchings. The North for Larry Cassidy at $7. The North is showing at... we'll just check that for you, the North, and it's at $7.70. Tarradoo at 18, The Purist at $9, Romantic Ace $9.70, Delinquent at $5.90, Ask the Wait at $20, Waikul Ash at $52, Flinders Street $16, and 39 Trust in Dreams, Alra Teb $129 for race 8 at Hawkesbury. 13, 4 and 1 are Hilton selections in the Hawkesbury Gold Cup for 1997. Righto, let's take you to Hawkesbury.
Ready, Darren Beedman, riding Purist, has won this race 3 times, but not since 1990. So they are now set. Ready to go. Hawkesbury Cup 1 mile. Stand by for a start. Set to go. They're racing. Trust in Dreams missed the start hopelessly from the inside. Slow to begin, Tarradoo, and flying away, Quick Flick goes to the lead under his 58 from Arletty. Settling in third, Waikul Ash, and on the inside is Zuccarino showing pace, followed by Flinders Street holding the rails. Then came Delinquent, who's going to settle midfield on the outside of Alra Teb from Trust in Dreams, Tarradoo. Crows Before Dawn getting a long way back in the field, followed by the North, Ask the Waiter, Romantic Ace, and Praise Indeed is burnt off. They've got 1,000 metres to go, and Quick Flick is the leader. 3 greys up front lead the way. It's Quick Flick from Zuccarino off the inside, third Waikul Ash. Then came Flinders Street racing on the inside of Arletty. A line of about 4 next. Trust in Dreams over on the inside, a lot more handy today. On the inside there of Purist, and out very wide on the track trying to make ground as Delinquent. He's not having a great deal of luck, being followed next by Alra Teb. Romantic Ace improving around the outside of Crows Before Dawn. A further 2 lengths away at the 600 came the North, who's well back in the field as they approach the turn from Tarradoo. Ask the Waiter, and Praise Indeed is last. It's Quick Flick making a bold bid for victory. 400 out in the Panthers Hawkesbury Cup, 2 lengths to Zuccarino. Waikul Ash. Purist on the outside runs on. Delinquent under heavy pressure, can't reach them. Looking for a run, Stony Bay and Arletty. Quick Flick still in front. He's starting to feel the weight in the journey. Zuccarino coming out after him. Wider Waikul Ash and Purist. Stony Bay through on the inside. Still Quick Flick. Quick Flick's hanging on, and Quick Flick's going to lead from barrier to box in the Hawkesbury Cup. He wins by a length. A close photo for second. Stony Bay on the inside of Waikul Ash, and nothing really made ground apart from Stony Bay. Then came Purist, followed by Delinquent, Crows Before Dawn, Romantic Ace, the North. Zuccarino knocked up, followed by Praise Indeed, who's beaten some of those pulling up soon over the line, including Flinders Street, followed home by Ask the Waiter. Trust in Dreams never in it from Alra Teb. Arletty pulled up soon over the line, as did Tarradoo. Number 1, Quick Flick. What a great horse. Number 1, Quick Flick. And Mark de Montfort, back-to-back Hawkesbury Cups, having won on Magic Road last year. On a 5-year-old gelding this year, who has been a prolific winner. And the $135,000 first prize takes his prize money earnings well over $750,000. He goes over the $800,000 mark. He is, of course, a winner of the Sir Bernhardt Stakes in Queensland. He ran second in a Canterbury Stakes at Group 2. He's won a Shannon Quality. He's been competitive in almost everything that he's been put in over his life, Quick Flick. And to carry the 58 and have to work very hard, but he's sprinted to get to the front. He's run 1:33.82, which is well outside the race and course record set by Thrifty Reserve in 93. His last 600 in 36.12. And he's kept battling on to win. Number 1, Quick Flick, his 13th career win from 40 starts. And no doubt a great thrill for trainer Tim Donnelly, who prepares this gelding at Randwick. He's by Spectacular Spy out of Lilla Flicker. Raced by the estate of the late A. Katransky, and also the estate of the late E. Katransky, and also H. Flink. Quick Flick, number 1, wins the Hawkesbury Cup. Today it has shown today that it is a leader's track, but the Hawkesbury Cup in the past has been won by horses coming from behind. But if you get a good leader like this bloke, He's gone on to win his second ever 1 mile race. He's only had 5 of them. And that's the first time he's ever raced at Hawkesbury, which is most unusual. But what a way to bring up your first winner. $200,000 Group 3, number 1 Quick Flick. And one of the most underrated jockeys anywhere in Australia, if not the world, is Mark de Montfort. He's recently returned from Mauritius. He had only about 60 rides in Mauritius. He rode 13 winners, which I think in itself is testimony to how good a rider is Mark de Montfort. And he does get a lot of rides for Tim Donnelly, of course, and Randwick Stables. But he is busy with his Sportsco store situated in the Queen Victoria building in the city of Sydney. Very busy man. But today he's a jockey and he's too good for them. Number 1 Quick Flick, $6 New South Wales, $5.70 Super Tab, $6.05 in Queensland, 15 Wah Ash, who was listed as an unlikely runner for the Cup, has run second. A gallant performance by the 8-year-old, ridden by Andrew Payne, who's here with Clary Connors for a couple of weeks. Rousing reception here for this marvellous grey. Greys have Quineled it. Looks like Purist has run 4th, so could well have had a grey trifecta. But it might be grey for a few punters in terms of trifectas, with Wah Ash running second. And Stony Bay, he was looking for a run at about the 75. He was one of the few horses to make any ground in the race whatsoever. And his run in running 3rd has been outstanding, ridden by Chris for Gay Waterhouse. So it's 6 even, $2.50, $14 for Wah Ash, $5.10 for 3, Quinella $263 even, Exacta $307.90, the trifecta $7,706.70. Delinquent back in distance. They just went too quickly for him early to take up a forward position, as he has been able to do over 2,000 metres at his past 2 starts. But I'd say the hard luck stories coming out from the jockeys' mouths to the owners and trainers, Nick, is that today, Hawkesbury, the Cup has proved definitely an on-pace runners' Cup.
Absolutely. Thanks, Hilt. Now they're about to move up for...
Lighters on.